Hello and welcome to Fergie's Gum. My name is Nathan and I'm joined by a special guest. It's not Ahmed this week. It is Mr. Paul Cropper, all the way from Bury.
Come on.
Here he is.
Come on.
Here he is.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you again. Yeah, tell you another thing for me.
He's here. He's here.
How are you, Sunshine?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. I was trying to think back to when the last time you was on the podcast, and I think it might have been
about 6 months ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was just after Dan Ashworth had been sacked, possibly.
Possibly, yeah. We were optimistic then, weren't we? So
We were
it's gone
optimistic.
downhill since then, yeah. What a mistake
Still
that
feeling
was.
Still feeling optimistic now?
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah.
In fact,
Pancake.
let me start off with something to get you back into the optimistic mood. Hopefully you'll be able to hear this, but this was what Ruben Amorim had to say at the end of last season on the pitch at Old Trafford, in case anyone needs a reminder of it.
6 months ago, in my first 3 games in charge, with 2 victories and 1 draw, I said to you, the storm is coming. Today, after this disaster season, I want to tell you the good days are coming.
Calm down, Ruben.
Well, my first question was going to be, how do you feel about that when he was saying it?
He wasn't
Still
wrong,
trusting
was he?
him?
No. I'm 50-50, mate. He wasn't wrong about the storm, was he? We all got a bit giddy. And then he tried to play it down. And he must have seen in training what was happening. He must have looked at these lads and thought, they can't hack it, what he wants. Yeah. No, I'm 50-50 on Ruben because I don't think, we'll go into it in a bit, anybody's improved. Is anybody improved since he's come in? But the good thing was going to say, he needed that 6 months, didn't he? He needed to come in. If he'd have come in now, he'd still be giving those players a chance. And they've had the chance now. Now he knows who to get rid of. So, yeah, I think the right thing to do was for him to come in that 6 months because this season coming up would be another experiment. Can't afford another one.
Exactly. The honeymoon period is definitely over from Ruben Amorim now. I think it's fair to say that. But that's not what we're going to kick off the show with. We were going to kick off the show with the very, very belated end of season awards, because it's been ages since we've actually done a podcast, since we've done a Fergie's Gum. So we're going to go into end of season awards. I sent you a little list to write out. So I reckon, I think I put best player at the top, but I'm going to move that to the last one on the list, mate. So the first one that I'm going to go with. It's all right. I'm not trying to trick you or trip you up or anything.
You stuck curveball already. There you go.
I know.
Welcome back. Welcome back, Cropper.
So the first one I'm going to start with is moment of the season. So that could be interpreted how you want it. So good or bad. What we saying? What we saying?
Straight away, Leon comes to mind. That's moment. It has to be there, doesn't it? I think because it was such a big tournament game moment, I think it has to be the Leon Maguire. I thought it was a foul. If that's given against me, I'm screaming for a foul. But I'll take it all day. Take it all day. Yeah, I'll go with Maguire at Leon. The whole game was brilliant. The whole game was super. I can't think of many more highlights. Go on.
I think in Athletic Club, I think when we went over there and beat them was decent as well. But for me, I've got written down that it was Maguire's header in the 5-4 win. And the thing that's weird for me is that from Lacazette's penalty, when they went 4-2 up or 4-3 up, whatever it was, I fell asleep.
79th, 80th minute. Did you really?
Yeah, I went to bed. I went, right, forget that. I'm not having this. I'm not having this.
I was in Spain at the time, and we were watching it in a bar. And the walk back is about 10 minutes. So that penalty went in, and I said to the family, "Come on, we're off." So we gets back, and it's 4-3, and then me and the missus were dancing around when Maguire's header went in. Brilliant.
Well, I saw it first thing in the morning through a notification on FotMob, the app, and it was like, Spurs and Manchester United go through to the Europa League semi-finals, and I was like, what?
Misprint.
It must be. It must mean that they've, like, it says, it should have said that they'd gone out or they both went out. And then I was checking it. I was like, oh my God. So I missed that. And obviously that's a huge moment for me to miss as a Manchester United fan. But I will say, I've watched that goal probably about 2-3 times a week since then.
Yeah.
Just to
relive it.
Just morning coffee, just to get off on the right foot and just get the Maguire's header going in.
Did you see the young fan with his dad? Did you see that when he were in tears? Brilliant.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. You can't. That's what makes the club really, isn't it? Moments like that.
Yeah.
Last minute winners.
Exactly.
That's what United are built on. Yeah.
Exactly.
Young fans.
Do you know what? I was watching in one of those fan TV things, one of the fan reactions. I don't know if you ever watch them on YouTube, but I only ever tune in when United have won, obviously for obvious reasons. But there's a City fan on there, and he was like, even when the goals went in, he was cheering, and then when we pulled one back, he went, they'll win this, yeah. and then obviously when we did win, he's like, half of you guys don't watch Man United, like this is what they do, this is all they do. Yeah. They just win in in impossible situations. So, and he was gutted about it.
There's always a chance. Yeah. There's always a chance, isn't there? I don't know what it is. I think it is the club. It's the fact. It's that stadium as well, which is another thing that worries you about changing stadiums. The history that's there with the last minute goals.
I know exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Because you get that. I was listening to the Talk of the Devils podcast that The Athletic do, and they talked about the clack of the seats. And it's that thing where, the crowd all get up on their feet, and it's very distinctive, like as the seats flip back. It's like, and everyone stood up on like,
when your wingers get the ball, your wingers are going at someone. That's something we've missed. Yeah,
we haven't had much of that. Ahmad has tried to do his best for that, but he's not.
I'm going to talk about Ahmad in that wing back position soon. But your list cannot be very long of moments of the season, because I was struggling this morning.
I've only chosen one.
I thought I was going to go with three. I was going to go with three. I couldn't think of three.
There we go. It's been an awful season. That's why. I mean, I could think of plenty of bad things. I mean, there was nothing worse than driving down to Ahmad's house at, I think, 11 o'clock at night, putting Glory Glory Man United on by the United Squad and Status Quo on the way down in the car. Yeah. Get in there and watching the most turgid Manchester United display that I've ever seen on the way to a limp loss against Spurs in the final. That was the worst, and that just epitomised the entire season.
In my notes there, because you asked for worst moment, awful season, I put the final. Awful. That's all I put.
That's it. Awful final.
The final. Awful. But both teams were awful.
Yeah.
Weren't they?
Yeah.
And
which makes it worse, mate. Which makes it worse
even
because
worse.
We should have won.
That game is the biggest game in 4 or 5 years for that group of players. Mm-hmm. I can't think of a bigger game. Well, cup final against City. And you turn up and do that. What was it? Well, there was nothing. Absolutely nothing. All game.
I've no idea. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
But
you can't say either way than awful, can you?
So we're gonna settle on it. We're gonna say it was Maguire's header. For the 5-4. I think that's definitely a moment of the season. I think that's fair to say. The next one that we're kicking on with was, well, we can continue with the bad stuff. Most disappointing player of the season. Who have you got?
Yeah. Højlund. Rasmus.
Ooh,
unfortunately.
Big Raz.
Yeah. I mean, I'd put the keeper, but I don't even think I'm disappointed now. It's just Andre minute doing his usual stuff.
It's the same way that the best player of the season has to have the caveat apart from Bruno. I think most disappointing player of the season has to have the caveat apart from Andre Onana, because he would be clear far and away from any other player that's on that pitch. So
disappointing is because you think you're going to get more. I've got a couple more names though, which might surprise you. But with Rasmus, you've expected him to kick on. It looks like he's gone 5 yards back in his progress. Confidence, obviously, his shots a bit, but what's it, a second full season? Yeah. And the owners said you're going to get 2 seasons, didn't they? And then if it's not working out, you're gone. Do they give him another one? I don't know. But yeah, I've put Rasmus as most disappointing player. The other 2, I'll just put them out there before you go on yours, was Ugarte and Mainu. Who are my other 2?
Rough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the manager dragged them off. He dragged them off. They don't fit in the system. The manager seems to be on them, both of them, because they get an hour, and if it's not good enough, he drags them off. Whether that's because they're not doing what he's asked, but I expected a lot more from the pair of them. I think Ugarte started off well, and then he just fell off a cliff. There was a game, I think it was the Athletic game away when we won.
Yeah.
But the first 20 minutes, he gave the ball away. 10 times. And I think he might have got hooked in that game. I can't remember, but he does seem to get hooked every game he plays. So when you expect the players to even just 10% better, I think he's gone back. Another one that's gone backwards. And
I think you have to look at the fact that we were starting Casemiro and Bruno as the 2 central midfielders by the last 10, 15 games of the season, I think it was. Like, they were
neither of them should be there, should they?
No, exactly.
If beginning of the season, you were thinking that those 2 were going to be the 2 sixes, but whether it's the manager doesn't like them, whether it's the confidence thing again, whether they just don't work in that system, something's not clicked there. So they're the 2 I've gone with disappointing because I expected a lot more from the pair of them.
I think that's fair. Mate. I think out of the most disappointing players that I've watched, and we talked about those wingers that get you up out of your seat at Old Trafford, I think the one that has failed to do that and again didn't kick on from the season that he had previously was Garnacho. Now, he was in the last game. I mean, he's on his way. He's definitely leaving. That's
he's done that. He's gone. Yeah, the relationship's over, isn't it?
I think that's 80% attitude and 20% they just want to get some cash for him. I think he's basically his stuff off the pitch. Throughout the season, he's been plagued with these rumours of him and his brother leaking stuff to the press. So whether it's a team sheet, whether it's their displeasure at being substituted or whatever it is, just liking snarky comments about Ruben Amorim or about the club. I think it's he's one of those players that you would love to see him kick on, and he definitely is one of United's brightest stars, but you just can't have that type of attitude around the club. If you want to do a clean sweep, you need a new broom, and that's the only way that you can do it. But I think that specifically with Garnacho, he was moaning after the Europa League final. I didn't get to play, I didn't get to start. I've done all of this, but mate, look at yourself. Look inwardly and have a little think about why you haven't started that game. Because in the Premier League, he'd played 36 games. 23 of those were from starting position. So he's on the pitch in the first 11. 2 assists and 6 goals all season.
Yes. Yeah.
That's that. Like, if you got that from Tyler Diblin, which I should have probably checked that. If you got that from Tyler Diblin at Southampton, you were rooted to the foot of the table, you'd be like, yeah, all right, fair enough. First season in the league. Fair enough. He's had a decent one. 6 goals and 2 assists. It's
relegation fodder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you have to question. You have to look in the mirror and question yourself. So I think there was a lot of hope and promise from the season before with Garnacho. But he just seems like a kid with an attitude. He's like, he thinks he's Ronaldo before he is Ronaldo. He needs to go out and actually do the thing before he's like bleaching his hair and copying celebrations and things like that. Like, I'm gutted.
It's a generational thing, though, that, Nathan, isn't it?
Exactly, and I think at the end of last season, I've said this before on like social media and stuff. At the top of our Blue Sky account, at the top of our YouTube for Fergie's Gun, it's Højlund, Mainu, and Garnacho as like the 3 stars that going into this season, we was like, these are the ones you got to back them. They're going to be great. Like, look at the way that they've been. Arguably, out of those 3, how many of them could you actually say are still going to be at the club next season?
No, exactly. Well, I don't think there's any player in that squad you could say should be there next season.
No. Again, we keep
one.
getting ahead of ourselves. Let's get rid of these awards, and then let's get on to the good stuff that we keep teasing about. Exactly.
We can give him a doggy. Garnacho, go back to the Garnacho one though. Yeah, on, disappointing. And will be moved on. And I think the overhead kick masked a lot of his bad performances.
I had to remember, was that this season? Was that this season?
I don't.
I think it was last season. I think it was last season.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, so, yeah. I'll put him up there as well. Yeah, disappointing. Yeah,
not good enough. I think it's fair.
I don't even think his ceiling was that high in the first place. I don't.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. I'd take 40, 50 million all day.
You have to. You got to. Who's that with their phone on? Is that you?
No, I've just. It's on silent. See, rookie mistake, me.
Oh, here he is.
I apologise. Turn it off. Turn it off.
That's all right. No,
do not disturb.
Right, let's moving on then to more positives. Who's the most improved player for you?
Oh, improved? No.
Yeah.
I just checked my notes. Do you want to see what it says?
Go on.
But nobody has improved under Amorim. Oh, under the boss, which is when you referred back to him before. What my thoughts? Has he made anyone better?
I'm going to put my hand up here. I'm going to put my hand up here, and I'm going to say he's made one person better.
Oh, interesting. One. Go.
Bruno.
No, I think that's more on Bruno, to be fair, pal.
No, but he's brought him back into a deeper position. Like, remember when he was playing slightly higher up, and I remember doing a podcast episode with Ahmad, and I think for about 10 minutes we just slagged off Bruno for performances where he's throwing his arms up, he's getting in arguments, and I think was it against Wolves when he got sent off, or Spurs when he got sent off? He got sent off against someone, and we were
2 yellows. Yeah, it was one.
Yeah, we were furious about his performance, and it was just one of those that he's just awful. And then Amorim brought him back into a position where he could be not so much of a, like he's got to hit it first time, like a shot first time or a pass first time. But I think once he had like a clear view of the pitch, it wasn't his natural position. But when he was sitting back with Casemiro at the side of him, I felt he was more in control of the things that he was doing. I don't think he was rushing things. I think he was starting to see what was happening around him. Wasn't always great, obviously, because the squad around him was awful. But he could see what was going on. And I think towards the end of the season, I mean, he was having man of the match performances for about 15 games once he'd settled into that position. So I get what you're saying, but I'm going to say that he had improved under Amorim, but he isn't my pick for most improved player, by the way. So who's yours then? Have you not got anyone then? You going with no one?
I can't. The only one that crossed my mind.
The award's going in the bin.
This improved because I'm not.
All right, let me tell you.
I'm not even giving anyone. Go on, give me yours. Right. Go on.
Okay, and there's reasons for this as well. So you'll probably laugh to begin with, but there are reasons for it. So I'm going with Joshua Zirkzee for most improved player throughout the season. Now, it's hard to give it to someone who's only been at the club for 2 minutes, right? So you can't really base it on how he performed last season to how he performed this season, which is usually the traditional way of most improved, right? So they've had a bit of time at the club and they've managed to get better over time. However, that moment when Zirkzee got hooked and his face walking down the tunnel at Old Trafford and being booed, and everyone was like, he was on. I'm fairly certain that there are quotes around it about him crying in the changing rooms afterwards because he got dogs abuse that day.
Yes,
absolute dogs abuse, and there was many fans that I feel like they scapegoated him immediately. Like you're the symptom of everything that's wrong at this club, and that's why you're getting hooked off, and that's why you'll never have a future here. And I kind of fell into that and thinking, he probably won't be here next season. But the way that he kind of got his head down, and when he was called upon, I know he got injured, but when he was called upon, he was actually effective in what he was doing, and you could sort of see the glimpses of what we wanted from him. He's not a 9, but he can link up play, and he's got a touch on him, and he's got a bit of a skill with him as well, a bit of flair. He can't shoot, which is like is insane for a striker. I've never seen a player like a striker hit the ball as badly as he has. Like I just can't. Like I've never seen it, mate. Never seen it. However, so I think
I'll give it you just because you can see something. You can see something from him, can't you? Whether that's
it's a low bar, mate. It's a low bar.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, exactly. But at least you give one. You've not sat on the fence, have you, like me? At least you give one out. But I can see why as well, because you can see something. But is it good enough?
Is it good enough?
Well, most improved. Okay, I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
The Cropper seal of approval. Big stamp. Boom. There you go, Josh. Have that, lad. All right, then. Well, let's get on to the last one then. Again, I think every single Manchester United podcast or magazine or fanzine or whatever it is has all done this. But player of the season that isn't Bruno. Bruno was far and away our best player last season, again, which he usually is. But who have you picked for your player of the season?
Before, injuries have been a massive factor in this squad this season. Massive. So before the injury, Ahmad was flying. Absolutely flying. Everything came through him. Ahmad. And there's not many behind him. The injury seemed to throw him off course. And even when he come back, he still looked our most likely. Everything went through him, didn't it? Last minute goals, creativity. He was scoring goals. Everything went through him. Ahmad. And then the injury. How long was he out for? Was he out for 3 months? It was quite a big one. Then he came back. He came back quite early as well, didn't he? But even in his first game when he came back, he starts the press. He presses properly. He can hold the ball. He can beat a man.
I think the rumours were online when he got injured was that he was out for the season. So it was a surprise when he did actually come back.
Yeah. But he didn't. When you come back from injury, you have a boost where you can probably get through 1 or 2 games, and then there was another dip in the final again, wasn't there? And you could see he wasn't fit. Big hopes for Ahmad next season. Big hopes. Yeah. I've gone for the one behind Bruno is Ahmad. Another 2 names, or 3 names actually, I wanted to just throw out there. I think Maguire deserves a lot of props for the way he responded. I do. Came back, like you've mentioned Garnacho before, there was nothing in the press from him. Head down, took his chance, became quite an integral part of that defence, especially with the injuries that we had. Maguire deserves a lot of props for the way he responded. And also Mazraoui. I think Mazraoui played everywhere. You could have asked him, and wherever. He had a dip towards the back end of the season. Maybe that's because he was asked to play everywhere and he played almost every game. So he played right wing back, the right-hand side of a 3, the left-hand side of a 3. I think he played in midfield in one or 2 games as well.
He played AMF, mate. He played AMF. He played behind the strikers.
Play it where you want. Just play where you want, pal. But I think he gives everything. And if you had 11 Mazraouis, I think you'd be doing all right with your squad there, yeah. So them 3, I think, in that order as well, I would go, because I think Mazraoui had a dip towards the end. But didn't they all?
Well,
bonus shout out to Euro and Heaven, because I thought also.
I mean, are you going to leave me any players to talk about here or what?
No, I'm taking them all.
That's it. Still my thunder for everything. Yeah. Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
But cover them all.
So I know exactly. So I'll end this section here. No, I reckon. So I was going to go with Maguire as my player of the season.
Yeah.
Aside from Bruno, for the exact same reasons that you gave, mate. I think he had, again, dog's abuse from fans. Didn't fancy him, too slow on the turn. But I think without him in that team, I think we would have been, same with Bruno, without those 2 in the team, would have been in a lot worse a position. Because I think when it mattered, when we needed leaders and we needed like big characters and big personalities, a lot of those boys disappeared. But Maguire didn't, Bruno didn't, they stuck around, and Ahmad didn't as well. So, I can understand why he would be player of the season too. But for me, I thought Maguire did really well. And it was between him and Lenny Yoro. And the only reason why I gave it to Maguire was because he played more games than Yoro. If Yoro would have been, Yoro was injured, obviously. But if he'd have played more games, then he probably would have gone to him because he came on leaps and bounds towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see how he does.
He had a tough game against Southampton, didn't he, where that lad absolutely tore him to bits. But then he seemed to come into his own, and you can see he's got something about him, confidence-wise. Yeah. I can't argue with Maguire. Yep, I'm happy with that, mate. Yep.
There we go then. That's the awards wrapped up. Now we can get on to absolutely dogging these players from the rest of the squad. So we'll have a little break. We'll have a little break here, and then when we come back, we will talk about the current state of the squad. Okay then. We've had the kind of good stuff with the awards for the end of the season, but now we're going to look at what's going on with Manchester United. In terms of the squad and the setup and everything like that, 15th place finish last season, which was one of the worst seasons that we've had in the Premier League ever. In fact, it is the worst finish in the Premier League that we've ever had. Questions still remain over Ruben Amorim's suitability to the Premier League. And I'll read this quote to you, mate. This was from TalkSport's Simon Jordan. I want to know what you think about it. You probably already heard it, but I'll read it out anyway. He says that Manchester United fans should not be cheering Ruben Amorim, at all. He says, United fans are so desperate right now for something good that you could give them a glass of sand, tell them it's water, and they'd still drink it. Now he's talking about Ruben Amorim there, and he's talking about how, the bar is so low that we're still chanting and cheering his name. But do you have, what do you think about that? You go to Old Trafford, you go to watch and play. Do you think it's something that, we've sicked the Kool-Aid with regards to Ruben Amorim, or do you think he's still going to come good?
When do you give him till? When do you give it? October? The international break again?
Christmas.
Although, we've said this with every manager, don't we?
Exactly.
I know there's not a lot. It's probably 60-40 in favour of Ruben with United fans, I think. There's the stubbornness of him sticking to his system, even though the players don't fit. No matter how the game's going, and no matter who you're playing against, what their strengths are, the stubbornness of sticking with it'll either kill him or it'll make him. And none of us know which way it's going to go yet, do we? We don't know. That this pre-season is going to be huge for Ruben. And I think he's only got till October. Have you seen the fixtures, by the way? We've got Arsenal first.
Yeah, that was breaking news before. So let's do that actually. So we've got who have we got as to start off with? Well, in the first 5 games, I think we've got. Hang on 1 second. Let me find it.
Arsenal, Fulham, Burnley, City, Chelsea,
and then Leeds. Is it?
Brentford away.
Right. So Arsenal, City, and Chelsea are within the first 5 game weeks, right?
Yeah, and Brentford away, which isn't. Depends if they've still got their starting 11. Yeah. So, and then it's the international break, I presume. Then. So your first 6 games there, is that it? Is that how long he gets?
Nah, he'll get until Christmas. And the thing is, it won't just be Ruben Amorim that'll be sacked. I think Omar Barada will be sacked as well, and Jason Wilcox will be following him out shortly after. Because if this doesn't work, then it can't just be on the coach. You guys employed him. You guys are the ones making the decisions in the transfer market. If you don't get the right players in, I know what you're talking about in terms of Amorim bringing in or using the same tactics over and over again with a squad that doesn't fit it. But this pre-season, everyone knows from the top to the bottom who the players are that are going to fit the system and who the players are that won't fit it. So now you've got to shift out those ones, the spare parts, and you've got to bring in the right players. And if you don't give him that thing to do, if you don't give him the players that he needs to play the formation, if you don't bring him the striker that he needs, then you have to take responsibility for it. Wilcox, you have to take responsibility for it. You're director of football now. Omar Barada.
Do you think he could walk? Do you think he could walk, Nathan, if he doesn't get what he wants?
Do you know what? Do you know when it came out and he said that he'd offered his resignation?
Yes, that's what made me think of it.
That made me think that he's not the right man for the job. It didn't make me think, oh, he's falling on his sword and, he can see it's for the best for the team and stuff like that. I felt like if he's done that, he's lost his mind for it.
He's at a loss, isn't he? He's at a loss of... he wouldn't have known how bad it was when he came in. He now knows how bad it is.
He must have had an idea about how bad it was. I mean, Wilcox was there.
A lot of these managers, a lot of these players, similar thing will happen with Cunha, and we'll probably talk about him in a bit. He will back himself and be like, I'm the one to turn this around. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to make a difference. Ruben would have thought exactly the same thing, because the confidence will be off the charts from what he did at Sporting. And he would have walked through the door and been like he said, when he said there's a storm coming, you've got to stick with us. And it hit him like a ton of bricks. It absolutely hit him in the face. And now he's thinking, right, if I get my squad, I'll just persist with this system for now. We'll teach them what we want, where we go. You could see patterns of play in certain games. The players, obviously, it wasn't working, which is why he dragged off Ugarte, etc., because they weren't doing what were asked of him. But we're not linked with any other players to change this system. Oh, we're not linked with... You look at who we're actually talking about, who's going to be coming in. There's nobody... Oh, right, well, he fits the system perfectly. So that system's going to work next year. The only thing that will help him next year is having one game a week, which will stop the injuries. We'll have one game a week. You can start your first team every game, which should probably be good. But will that mask over more problems? And the stubbornness of sticking with your system, it still irks me when you can't change your system. Why can't you change it?
This was the big talking point throughout the season. So it was quite obvious that the system wasn't working. It was quite obvious which players weren't picking up on it and the players that were. Now, is it a lack of versatility or a plan B if you can't do something like that? Or is it you're sticking to your roots and they need to fall in line so that any player that comes in or any player that's talking to another player that's at the club and it's like, is it consistent? Yeah, he always wants us to play like this. Then at least you do have that consistency on the outside looking in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like Ruben Amorim, he's going to stick with what he does because there's nothing worse than being like someone that's weak. So Erik ten Hag
with your ideas.
Yeah, and during the last few months of Ten Hag's reign, he became more pragmatic and he started doing the things that the fans wanted him to do, which again shows a weakness. So Amorim was kind of in a position where it was damned if you do, damned if you don't. I still think it's right for us to have question marks about him and to think that he might not be the suitable candidate for this job. But everything that has to happen during the summer will shape the entire future of Manchester United, not just Ruben Amorim. It'll shape the future of Manchester United. As I said before, 15th place finish, awful. The squad just aren't at it. It's like a total mixed bag of players that have been brought in under different managers. Remember, Ruben Amorim only has one player that he signed off on in that team right now, and that is Patrick Dorgu.
But that signing worries me as well. That there's no pace, there's no confidence. We don't have wing backs.
I think Dorgu will come
athleticism.
Good. I think Dorgu raises. He raises that floor. So the athleticism that you're talking about, if you watch the games without, it's difficult. Now I'm basically going a little bit highbrow here, but it's hard to watch Man United without being frustrated with every single thing that you see. So it's easy to be able to look at a game where there could be 90 really good things happening, but you always focusing on the 10 things that are crap. Now, that's to say, that's what I feel like. A lot of fans, with any new signing, watching this team now, when you watch Dorgu and when you watch him running down the wing, I've since gone back and watched like highlights reels of what he's been up to. He can get down that wing. He can get down that flank like we haven't had for a long time, and he can get the cross in. The reason why we don't, or why a lot of fans don't give him a chance and they're looking at him and going, he's still not doing it, he's not at it, is because no one's there to finish it. So he's putting the ball into the box, and Rasmus is like, he's still putting his boots on. Do you know what I mean? He's not in the 6-yard box. He's not.
You might as well stick a traffic cone up there, aren't you?
Exactly.
I get your point.
There was that goal. Sorry. There was that goal that Rasmus scored where Ahmad crossed it in. I think it was towards the end of the season. Was it Villa?
Maybe Bournemouth. I can't remember who it was who we played. About the Bournemouth one where it just hit him.
Yeah, and just went in, and it was literally traffic cone. If a traffic cone was there, it would have gone in because he didn't move his feet. It just bounced in off him. But Dorgu, Amorim signed off on him, right? So that is a prototype player that he wants for those wing-back roles.
Yeah.
Now we have to put those players in around him, right?
It's athleticism, pace and power. But you need another 10 of them because none of these players suit that system, do they? I think that's my worry with Ruben is the system, the players that he's got there. I can't foresee it working. I just can't. Hopefully this, like I said, the game a week, the players get a good preseason in it and they kick on. And then he will settle into the right 11.
But the way that you're talking about it right now is that the squad that we currently have is the one that we're going to go into next season with. But if we go into that next season with that same squad, mate, doesn't matter if you get Brian Mbeumo, doesn't matter if you get Matthias Cunha, who's already signed. You're going down with that squad, 100%.
There's a massive possibility. Someone has said, "Is it laughable to see United get relegated?" If we don't kick on in signings, no, it's not impossible.
Exactly. So this is what we're talking about now. We're talking about the current state of the squad. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. Do you know one of the weird things about this squad? This is the lowest finish we've had. Yeah. Go on. Lowest finish.
Sorry, this is the lowest finish we've had since we were relegated, isn't it? It's the worst finish we've had. Yeah. Yeah,
it's been awful. But you know what? The odd thing about our squad is that, according to Transfer Market, average age of our squad is 25, right? Which is probably gone down a little bit more since Eriksson and Lindelof have just left the club as well. So, these players should be hitting their peak. But something's not right. They can't gel. They've had a lot of time playing together. Nothing seems to be sticking. They've played under different managers. They've played under different formations. They've had managers that have tried to get the best out of them by changing their tactics to suit them. They've had managers that have tried to use their own systems, and they're still not getting it. So for me, it's a mentality thing that's going through the team, and you need to move them on. We've got, when you look at the squad, when you look at the people that are slightly older, you've got Tom Heaton, who's just signed a new contract. I mean, he's not going to really influence anything on the pitch, but behind the scenes, he's a good character to have around. 39 years old, knows the club inside out. You need people like that. Harry Maguire's 32 now. You still need him around, I think. I think that's fair to say. Casemiro's 33. You're not going to find anyone to take on that wage. No. He's going to be there. He's going to be there next season.
There's no rumours of Casemiro going. Casemiro will be there next season.
Exactly. And then you've got Bruno, that is 30 years old, but our most influential player. So when you look at things like that, we should have a very good squad that is in a position to really kick on next season. Young, fresh, athletic, dynamic, and it's hard to say that any of the current squad has that in them.
Sorry, just to intersect that, the players that you mentioned there, Maguire, Bruno, Casemiro. So, if they're staying, they're playing, aren't they? But we've just finished 15th with them.
I know, exactly.
So, they're not young, they're not athletic, they're not able to do what the manager wants. Yeah. So, how is them being in the team? How does that work? It can't work. You can't they're not going to do what he wants. Bruno can't do what Ruben wants. Even in the six.
No, he's the only one. I would argue he's the only one that can do what he wants.
After that final, and watching Bruno give the ball away and produce his worst performance of the season in the final, and just be frustrated and forcing everything, it made me question the last 15 games. Yeah, that is him. Well, is that Ruben? Is that what he wants? How can you have a midfield two of Bruno and Casemiro next season and expect us to be better?
But we said at the top of the show when we was talking about the game was awful and it was both teams were awful. We should have won that game. It's not like we were overrun. We lost out to a Luke Shaw on goal, but we just couldn't find anything creatively. So I wouldn't really blame Casemiro or Bruno for ruining that game. I think it was the tactics. Yes, I'm completely with you on that. I'm with you. Amorim, I think, got it wrong, and I think he should have started Garnacho. I think he should have done, because I think he would have offered something slightly different. But this squad is not kicking
next
off.
Season. It's not. I just don't see next season. If our starting lineup has Bruno and Casemiro in it as the 2 6s, I just don't see how that's going to be any better than 10th.
You're right, mate.
Don't see it.
You are. And I think those players, I think apart from Bruno, I think Casemiro and Maguire, going into next season, there has to be an understanding of those as professionals that they're not going to be playing. They're not going to be starters next season.
No, exactly.
That they are integral to the team, but in terms of the way that they can help from the bench and the way that they can help around the training ground and embedding in new players that are coming to the club. So I think in that respect, I think they will be key and influential to Ruben Amorim. But if they are starting, I can't see them starting. I can't see it. I can't see Bruno will, but Casemiro and Maguire won't be starting next season. I just can't see it, barring a really bad injury to Lenny Yoro or Martinez injured again. I don't think Martinez is back until January, is he? I think
is that right?
I think
okay. He's a big miss, isn't he? He's a big miss.
Just going through the squad. So I went through the squad earlier, and I just wanted to look at the kind of players that at a push who would I keep in the squad. So I wrote down the names. I mean, we've got.
You didn't need a lot of ink in your pen for that one, did you?
No, exactly not. Exactly. So I've got Mazraoui, I've got De Ligt, I've got Maguire, I've got Yoro, Heaven, Dorgu. Ugate's got a question mark next to him. Mainu, Bruno, Ahmad, Chido Obi, and Xerxes and Martinez have both got question marks next to them about whether or not I'd keep them next season because...
How many is that you've got?
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 players, right? However, how many of those could you see getting into a top 4 side right now?
Exactly. Exactly the issue, isn't it? It's Mount. Yeah.
Mount.
I'm looking at the squad myself, and
Ineos
another
have
question
to move
mark
on
with his injuries.
Yeah, Ineos have to be ruthless this year to be getting rid of these players. I've said this before, and I know I'm making it sound as way too simple, but the sacking people or making people redundant that are handing out chips and stuff in the canteen. So they're getting rid of Doris off reception. They're getting they let Dan Ashworth go after pursuing him for all that time, spent all that money trying to get him out of Newcastle and then sacked him and again paid a financial penalty on that. Let Erik ten Hag choose all of his players again last summer, kept him on when it was everyone knew that they didn't want him. And they've even admitted since then that they did speak to other managers, and then they fired him. This is what they need to do to these players. Luke Shaw's not going to want to go somewhere else on a less salary that he's on now, but he's not playing. Nope. He's 29, but he's not playing. He's played less games in his entire career at Manchester United than Bruno has, and he's been there for 2-3 years less or 4 years less.
it's the likes of Luke Shaw, Darlow. I mean, we obviously know about Sancho and Rashford situations. One of the lads in the chat actually put in a thing I didn't even think about it with Sancho was just ban him from the club. Just you're not even allowed to train with the kids. You're not welcome. You go and work from home. They don't care. Just leave.
Yeah.
You're not coming back into this club. There's rumours of Napoli with Sancho, isn't there? But there's rumours.
We'll get onto transfers. We'll do transfers after this. But
I can't. The ones you said there. But there's still question marks about the likes of Xerxes. A few more. Dorgu's got to be given another season to see how he progresses. What's he had? 6 months?
He's only had 6 months. He's only had 6 months.
The ones
you were talking before. Hang on one second. I want to draw back to something just in case you forget it. But you were talking before about Ahmad at wing back.
Oh yes,
and you were saying about that you was you're not having
work,
right?
It won't. It just won't work. He's not a wing back. I saw I don't know if you see Statman Dave. I think he's called. It's quite good to watch, and he's convinced that Ahmad can be that right-sided wing-back. I saw him at Brentford, and they ran off him. That those wingers will run. He's not built that way. You're taking more away from him his game than letting him do it. But the 10 doesn't even suit him, which worries me. I know Ruben likes to have one more defensive wing-back and one more attacking in it, but if you're Lenny Oro and you've got Ahmad as your right wing back, you're panicking because you're going to get overloaded every time down that way. Not taking anything away from the lad. That system doesn't suit him as the wing back. It will work hard. He'll get up and down, but defenders have a certain. They'll see things. He won't see it. He'll leave his man. And if I'm playing against United and I see him being that right wing back, I'm putting a 6'3" lad at the back stick, and I'm putting it there every time, which is what Brentford did. And the goals came from there. It won't work. That will not work, mark my words. Put it down in the sand.
I'll write it down. We'll come back to this. But the one thing that I do think about the entire squad and the entire setup that Ruben Amorim is trying to create is we can't build a squad to contain. That is not Manchester United. That is not Manchester United at all. You need to be on the front foot. You can't sign Cunha and Mbeumo and be on the back foot and counter-attacking. It'll work in some games when you have to, dig in, when it's like, you got some players missing. But that starting 11 needs to be attack dogs. That's what they need to be. They need to be, from the off, absolutely hounding the defence. Just absolutely no space for any of the defenders to get out.
He wants it 100 mile an hour, doesn't he? He wants to play the whole 90 minutes 100 mile an hour. Yeah.
And you have to, because we've tried it with this squad. I know we're talking about making changes anyway, but with this squad, they're not good enough to contain it. They're not good enough to pass it around at the back. Everyone is like, fretting when they're passing it around, doing those triangles at the back, especially when it goes back to Onana. It's like, oh my God, like just leather it downfield, lads.
Panic stations, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and Amorim actually changed that in Onana's game, I think from February onwards. If you look at his chart where he was distributing the ball earlier on in the season, it was left back, right back, centre backs, central midfielder dropping deep for it. But then if you look at the stats now, it's bomb it down to Rasmus Højlund and get the second ball. Rasmus isn't getting it, but get the second ball. And that's all he was doing all season. But
I think that's another reason why the last 5 to 10 games, it probably made Onana look a bit better because he wasn't putting himself under pressure. There was a game away at Bournemouth, I think, where Luke Shaw gave it away and they scored. They scored quite early on from a mistake, and we did go a lot more direct from there. But then you're hitting the ball at Rasmus Højlund and it's not sticking, and it's just coming straight back. So I know he did change it, fair play. So he has changed something in that way, but what he changed it to was probably even worse than what we were doing in the first place. So
it became very industrial style football.
Just comes back. If the ball's just coming back all the time, you can't do anything. You can't get up to support the forwards. You can't. It needs to stick, which is to where I think Xerxes is better at than Højlund, isn't he? It does stick a bit more, and his link play is there. Fair play to him for changing it up, but
Yeah, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. So we'll finish off this section. I think it's clear that the current state of the squad is not the greatest. But there was one question I wanted to ask you about this as well. And this is like not based on personal opinion, because obviously we want all of them to leave, but being completely real, out of the players that have been kind of jettisoned this season, Rashford, Malacia, Antony, and Sancho, who do you think we're going to be unable to sell at the end of the season? At the end of this transfer window, and which one of those players or two do you think we're going to end up seeing in the starting lineup again?
I don't think you see any of them in the starting lineup. There'll be. Oh, that's just a question and a half. Anthony,
mate,
you can see moving on.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
So I think Real Betis want to get a co-ownership thing with Antony, which basically sounds like a hire purchase of a car.
Get in the bin.
So I know exactly. Just pay the money or don't.
They haven't got it, have they? They obviously haven't got it.
Broke boys.
What would you accept? What's the rumours of the amount for Antony? 40 million, is it? Is
40,
it more?
40 million. I think they can get
euros.
They should be able to get 40 million for him. So in my opinion, not opinion, but in like being real with this, I can see Marcus Rashford playing for Manchester United again next season.
Wow. I
know there's these doubts about like his attitude and things like that. But I think if any player is going to play out of those four, if any player is going to be in that starting lineup again, it'll be Marcus Rashford, 100%.
Sancho's done. The Sancho thing's done. Yeah. So we could say that's done. Malacia, I think it was obviously just didn't work. He had a strange injury, didn't he, or something that we didn't really hear a full story.
He did,
about.
and then he went to PSV, and then he won the Eredivisie with PSV.
Yeah. Antony, I don't believe will end up at Betis, but I think there's the potential there because of how he did. There'll be suitors there for him, won't there? I think you'll get your money back there. The Rashford one, I can see why you're leaning towards him being back at United, because Villa don't seem interested, do they?
They can't afford him. The PSR, in terms of PSR, they're the only team in the league that are in danger of it, which is why again we'll come on to this later. But they need to shift on. They need to shift on players, not bring players in.
Yeah. If you're another club looking at Rashford, so say you're outside in Europe, etc. I mean, he was looking at Barcelona, wasn't he? But yeah. And you're looking at the season that Rashford had at Villa. What you're not thinking? Oh, I fancy get Rashford in. He's not. He didn't set the. I mean, it talks about he's had a great game. He was rubbish at Villa. Villa fans will tell you, no, we don't fancy him. We got better there, and you're on the bench sometimes, and you're like, he didn't do anything better than what he was doing at United.
I think the media stories, the media narratives were all around the fact that, look, now all these players have left Manchester United. Look how great they're doing. I think that's the.
Oh, he's happy now. He's happy.
Yeah,
not having it.
I think that's the case. But just out of last thing I'll say on it is, with Nico Williams going to Barcelona, it looks like that's a done deal. Yeah. I think Rashford is out of options. I don't think any club is going to take on his salary. I think he only wanted Barcelona in his heart, and it depends whether or not they want to break up that already potent front line. They're adding Nico Williams to it, but unless they decide to sell someone big, then I just can't see that Barcelona move happening.
So if you've got Nico Williams, Yamal and Rafinha in your team, why would you want a Rashford? I was just trying to think where Rashford could actually, what his options are. Barring Italy, maybe a Napoli or someone like that. I mean,
they haven't got the money for him. I'm telling you now.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm telling you now, the one player out of all those that have been out on loan that could start again for Manchester United next season is Marcus Rashford. I should make a little jingle for this bit, but this is Cropper's Transfer Corner.
Transfer Corner. There you go.
There we go. I'll just clip that. Put some music under it. and we'll use that as the transfer corner. So, like a B&M bargains for Fabrizio Romano or brands for less for Fabrizio Romano. We've got Paul Cropper here. The latest transfer news. What have you got for us this week, mate?
So there's obviously the big one has been Ekitike this week, hasn't it? 100 million. Apparently we've had words. It's that 100 million is not happening because we can't obviously afford it. Would they accept 60? It feels like it's more of a Gyökeres saying, "Oh, I don't fancy it. Oh, don't you worry about it. We've got this other option." So that's what it feels like to me.
Well, see, there's a little bit more to that story where it was Christian Vivel is apparently working closely with Eintracht Frankfurt on making that deal, but the 100 million euros that they're talking about for that being spread across 5 years. Now, for a team like Eintracht Frankfurt, 100 million euros for a player is amazing. Regardless of when you're getting it, 100 million is massive. Now, the only thing that United have to worry about is if any other teams come in for him and go, right, we'll give you the full whack. And the other people that are trying to chip away at this is Chelsea. And I mean, they keep buying every bloody player. So I mean, how many players do they need? They're getting that.
How they're still allowed to sign players, I don't know. Chelsea.
Well, they're looking that Malik Fofana who absolutely gave
very good.
Mazraoui a nightmare at Old Trafford.
Yes.
So they've gone for him. They've got Quenda, who United would. Yeah. It was supposed to be nailed on to get him. And Liam Delap. So they're mopping up all of these players.
The obvious one.
But so just going back to Ekitike, if they decide that they're going to pay 100 mil to buy him, then that's where we're in trouble. I don't think there's many other teams that can do that. So
what did Eintracht Frankfurt get for Marmoush? Was it 60?
80, wasn't it? 80 million euros.
Was it close? Because from what I'm reading, they want the same amount. It just worries me, the Ekitike one. It feels like you're getting the worst of the two. City have got the better of the two. This is his breakout season. Yeah. I feel like City have got a bargain now with Marmoush. I think he's very good. The Ekitike one, this is his breakout season, and they're all of a sudden demanding 80 to 100 million. Not convinced.
I think in terms of, I mean, I'm with you to a certain extent. I'm kind of warming to the idea of signing him because, and I know this sounds like I should be wearing a suit and sat in a boardroom, but like the resale value of someone that young and, it's a risk worth taking because of potential. And we've always bought like a Cavani, an Ibrahimovic where we just can't get rid of them after that. However, I think there's a middle ground that we need to be exploring where it is a Victor Osimhen. You have to sometimes gamble and take the risk, a financial risk, on someone that's going to get you goals. Because last season...
Guaranteed goals on it, and that's my worry with Ekitike. Who comes from that league? Who comes from that league? There's only a couple I can think of. I was thinking about this morning when you asked me the question. That have come from that league and absolutely taken the world by storm. De Bruyne was the one who sprung to mind.
From Germany, from the Bundesliga?
Yes, yeah. Well, there's not many. Yeah. Ekitike he's not in that elite strikers though, is he? He's not. You're borderlining. It's another. Is he going to be another Xerxes? Is he going to be another Højlund? He's young. Will the price tag ruin him again? We can't afford that. If we're obviously we're looking at strikers. I think they wanted the lap, didn't they? I think that United thought if we won that final, I think we'd have got the lap. So now feels like we're scraping around again for another striker. But he's never played in the Premier League. He doesn't look physical enough. He doesn't look fast enough. He's skillful enough. He looks skillful enough. I've obviously not seen enough of him to give him an absolute hammer. But there's obviously there's something there because the rumours are coming out, aren't they? And whether it's on Wilcox, whether it's on whoever's deciding this one, because I believe Wilcox really wanted the lap because he worked with him at City.
Yeah.
Didn't he? Yeah. Worked with him at South. Where was it? Where was he at?
At City, yeah.
Look, yeah, was it there? Yeah, I know we worked with him before, didn't he? So since he's now gone to Chelsea, it's like, right, okay, we need. Good thing is they're looking at strikers. That's the one positive.
Sorry, it broke up then. What did you say? Sorry. What did he say?
The good thing is we're actually looking at strikers. That's what we can take from it. And we do need goals. That's for me. It's not in the right direction. Ekitike. I'd look elsewhere personally.
Well, I think Osimhen is still the one that we should be going for. I know Saudi clubs are basically chasing him now. Al Hilal have put in, I think, 3 bids, so they're not giving up on him. I think Galatasaray is still interested in signing him.
He doesn't fancy the Saudi league by the look of it.
No, and I think there's a lot of players that don't fancy it right now because they've just watched they watched the players flock there this time last year, and then they watched the players leave again, like going, well, this is awful. High-profile managers leaving. Steven Gerrard had a terrible time there. Jordan Henderson left. Lots of players saying that they're not happy over there. So I get it. I can get like
Bruno turning down.
Exactly. Yeah. So okay. So Ekitike is one to watch. Then who else have we got? What else have you got for those?
On that note of strikers, I keep hearing Mateta being floated around. 30 to 40 million. I keep seeing his name. It looks like he's maybe 3rd, 4th, 5th choice on the list for strikers.
Yeah.
Premier League proven. Good price. Solid. He, every time he played against us, he terrorised that defence. Terrorised us. Like you say, Premier League proven. Scores goals. Physical. Works hard. I think I like it.
I would say I like Mateta. I definitely would sign Mateta, but I think that 30-40 million that you're talking about is any other club apart from Manchester United. Because once you get the United tax on, we're going up to 70 million. And Crystal Palace don't need to sell him. They don't need to.
No.
I mean, if you was in
70, but throw Eze in as well, and we'll deal. You've got a deal there.
Well, I mean, you could basically make a really good team out of 3 of their players. So whatever budget you've got, go and get Eze, Adam Wharton, and Mateta, and just drop it all there and do it early.
300
so
million. They want 300.
You're going to do 300 million. Drop it all there, so that Palace go, all right, okay, we can rebuild for the rest of the season with this cash.
The Mateta one, though, it keeps popping up, so it's another one where he's on the. He must be on the list because I've seen it a few more places, and I'm leaning towards if you couldn't get Delap and you can't get the Osimhen, Gyökeres, them one's done. The Gyökeres one, I've not even got it on my list because obviously it seems like it's fancies Champions League, and you can't put like. Well, I'm not convinced in his abilities either. But
interesting thing about the Gyökeres one is it's not Manchester United related, but I was reading today that Arsenal have like progressed with Benjamin Sesko, so they're not going to go for 2 strikers. So I think there'll be no issues with the fee and no issues with his salary. So it's quite funny really, because if the rumours are to be believed, Gyökeres turned down United because he wanted Champions League football, so he wanted to play for Arsenal, or chosen Arsenal, so to speak. But it would be hilarious if he now has to stay at Sporting, because I think out of everything now, I don't think he was the one anyway. I don't think he's good enough. But it would be funny now if he has to stay there next season and United are like, no, don't fancy it. Don't fancy it,
especially mate. After the owner's outburst that he had. The owner was fuming, wasn't
he? Yeah.
Absolutely fuming. Yeah. But he's, there's a few ex-players, Rio Ferdinand being one, obviously doesn't fancy Gyökeres. Looked at him a few times. Well, I've seen him about 2 or 3 times. Obviously not enough to have a full-on opinion. I've seen a lot of his goals. The keepers in that league seem to just throw him in the net. Send Onana over there. Yeah. He'd be all right. Yeah. Be all right over there. A couple more I've got on my list, Nathan.
Go on then. Who have you got? Let's fire through them.
There's 2 more names I've got on the list. One's that threw a curveball. I know we were linked with him a few seasons ago. Went to Bayern Munich. Kim Min-jae. Centre half. Bayern Munich are after moving him on.
I know.
I don't know what his wages are on. Bayern Munich don't tend to get rid of. I don't think we need it, do we? Do we need another?
Not for me, mate. Not for me. And the reason why I say that, like when he was moving from Italy, I can't remember where was he playing in Italy? Was it Napoli?
Napoli, yeah.
That was the time to get him, right? Yes. When he was moving from Serie A to another team, because that's when his profile was high. Now he's ended up at Bayern Munich. He's been like cast aside, hasn't really featured. I think he scored in the Club World Cup actually, but then again, everyone else there, and I think half the crowd had a goal against Auckland FC as well.
Ball boy scored one, didn't
he? Exactly, they're just letting anyone on the pitch to score a goal against them. But I think that was the time to buy him. A little bit like when De Ligt went from Juventus to Bayern Munich. Like I don't want to be buying. I don't hold the purse strings, but I don't want to be buying players that other teams are getting rid of. Like, as in, big teams have gone, nah, you're surplus to requirements.
Yeah.
I want to go there. I go to Bayern and go, we want Musiala. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the type of player that we want Harry Kane. We want one of your linchpins. We don't want to be getting the players that you don't want in the team anymore. So for me, I'm not. It was
a name that popped up, and I thought, oh, interesting. It's an interesting one. Never seen it before. It was just a name that popped up. The last one I've got on my list, it's a no from me again, but is Martinez, the goalkeeper from Villa.
See, funnily enough, I've got him down as a yes on my list because I think we need to get rid of Onana. I think we need to get rid of Bayern. The weird thing about Onana and Bayern is that in my head, and I don't know if this is the same for everyone, but I still think of him as like a young player that's coming through. He's not. He's 27. Like he's a Turkish international, and he's still not good enough to play for Manchester United. And so both of those goalkeepers need to be moved on. Emi Martinez is the one that I think, same with Matheus Cunha, he's got that mad streak about him. And I think United missed that type of like that character that needs to play in that team. I mean, I know he had an absolutely awful game against us in the last game of the season.
Just about to bring that up. We don't need that, Nathan. We won't
do it then. He won't do it. He wanted to get off on holiday. He was straight to Manchester Airport after getting sent off, and he was flying to Dubai for his holiday. That's what he was doing.
Mate, if we've had Onana, and you touched on Bayern there then, and if he had anything about him, he could have took that number one shirt in the past 18 months. Yeah. But he's not good enough. Bayern there. Anybody else who's a second string goalkeeper would have been in that starting lineup. They put him in every time, and he was worse than Onana. You can't, in my opinion, I know Martinez has won, everyone throws he's won the World Cup and stuff like that. You can't have another nutter. You can't replace him with another one.
I think he's more consistent in terms of his goalkeeping ability, and I think that's one of the things that I just want someone
who's calm. Just don't be an idiot. Just be a calm goalkeeper. Catch the ball. Go. Just save the ball. Don't palm it out. Just catch the ball, and then give it out. It's very easy. Right. It's a very easy thing. And so replacing him out, I think what's attracting the club is he's on a free transfer. I think that's.
Oh, of course.
I think that's what's attractive, and that's another good thing we talked about. We're looking at strikers. We need a goalkeeper. Please get us a goalkeeper.
Exactly, because if you haven't changed that goalkeeper.
No, if you sign Cunha, Mbermo, a striker, 2 wing backs, a centre midfielder, it's all absolutely pointless if you don't get us a goalkeeper. Absolutely pointless.
Yeah.
You might as well not bother. But the worry is there's not any other goalkeeping names out there. When we're looking at transfers, there's not another one. So it's like, right, okay.
Can I throw a name out for you? Can I throw a name out for you? Mark ter Stegen.
What, from Barca?
Yeah. They've just signed a new goalkeeper, Jean Garcia.
Yeah.
They're trying to sign Szczesny on an extension, who claimed the number one spot towards the end of last season. Ter Stegen was on the pitch at the end of the season, furious, like kicking off, like literally livid. And it's been reported that he wants out of Barca. He's furious about how he's been treated.
Come on down, son. Come on down. You fancy a run out at Old Trafford? I didn't know. I knew that Szczesny was starting games, and they asked him because he retired, didn't he? and they asked him to stay in another season, and then obviously he's looked at sign. To stay again. I'm in. Sign him up.
There you go.
I'll finish off. There was rumours. Sorry, go on.
Go on. I was going to say, I'll just
rumours.
He's gone again. Look,
where is he? Sign him up. There was rumours. Sorry, of another goalkeeper, which I believe wants out, but I don't know why or where the rumours come from. But Donnarumma wants out. No chance of him coming to Old Trafford. But it was mentioned to me that he wouldn't. He'd be on the list. He'd be on everyone's list, I presume, Donnarumma. But I don't know why he went out of PSG.
Let me tell you what that Donnarumma rumour was about, right? That's about his agent getting another big salary and wage increase at PSG. Yeah. He's going nowhere, mate. Don't surprise me. He's going nowhere. He's treated like a king at PSG. He's going nowhere. So
best in the world for me as well.
Thing. It's that classic. Let's pin his name to Manchester United. Yeah. And let's get some extra cash out of the.
It's that Sergio Ramos tactic, isn't it? Yeah, I think it was used a few times. Yeah.
Who scored earlier, by the way, for what team is he playing for now in the Club World Cup? Is it Monster?
Yeah, someone like that. Yeah.
Anyway,
what a player!
Last ones that I'll just finish off on is we touched on it earlier, but Jadon Sancho to Napoli was one as well. Mm-hmm. United are asking for 21 million. With the Chelsea fee that we got for him, the 5 million, it makes the deal 26. I say take it and just get rid. You have to just get rid of Jadon Sancho.
On that
negotiating.
On that note with Sancho, he's Osimhen's still on Napoli's books, isn't he?
Yeah.
Why can't Sancho, Garnacho be offered in mate weights in that deal? And surely money that was saving on wages there is.
I'm sure it's being talked about, but I'm sure it's being talked about. But I think one of the issues that we might have, I know we've got a great relationship with them in terms of the way that Scott McTominay turned out, but I think with Napoli, we kind of stalled and then reneged on a potential deal to take Garnacho to Napoli in January. So I can imagine they're probably digging their heels in a little bit and going, well, no, not really. It's his business at the end of the day, so they don't want to get stung. The latest on Bryan Mbeumo, because that's gone a bit quiet recently.
Worrying.
But the in the nose, the Man United ITKs seem to think that it's done and that it's going to happen within the next week or so. So
fingers crossed for that one.
Exactly. Another one to keep your fingers crossed on. But as we say, without a goalkeeper, it's not going to change anything. But at least we've done the first ever Croppers Transfer Corner. So I look forward to that next week as well, mate. Good stuff. Right then, there we go. End of the podcast. Thanks again to Mr. Cropper for joining me for another episode. I think you'll be back on next week.
Hopefully, yeah. Next week, I'm available for selection. Gaffer, throw us in.
There we go. How would you rate your performance if you was rating it in terms of the current Manchester United player from the 24-25 season? Which would you most liken yourself to?
Bang average. So we'll go. Be a few of them, couldn't there? Good. You know what? I'll go Mazraoui. Hard working, but yeah.
Mate, that's perfect.
Heart.
Yeah,
it's all heart, isn't it? Yeah.
It's nothing flash.
All right. Well,
nothing flash, but he's there. He's there.
Yeah.
He's there. He's ready. He's an every man. He can play every position.
Front foot. Front foot he is. Gets a bit giddy.
Exactly.
But,
No, it's good, mate. Honestly, I enjoyed it massively because it's good to catch up as well while we're doing this. So, yeah, always a pleasure.
Yeah. Good to see you soon, Joe.
Yep. So we'll be back on again next Wednesday. We'll be back on again next Thursday because that's when it goes out. And we'll speak to you then soon. So thanks for listening and don't forget to subscribe.